Strange days are here again. Now I'm dancing with my imaginary friends. In my head, they say what I need to hear, whispering lies that make my problems disappear. Then I get paranoid. Oh no, I let them in again. Should I play along? Why yes, let's play a game of pretend. 1, 2, 3, here we go. Time to let my crazy show. They feed on fears, they twist my thoughts. Act like kings, but they're just bots. Truth is, they just fucking bore me. Now it's my turn, I'll flip the game. Step inside, let's play insane. Let's get this psycho circus started. You're at my party, dearly departed. I can make this fun, do you wanna run? I'm pulling out the big one, just for fun. Pop the champagne and run, bitch, run! Strange days are back again. Still dancing with my imaginary friends. In my head they say what I need to hear on repeat till the silence disappears. 1, 2, 3, now you know. This is how I let my crazy show. They prey on doubt, my insecurities. Play pretend like they've got authority. But truth is, they just fucking bore me.
So, guys, aw, Marion, I'm sorry you ran out. I'll pass it over to you. I'm gonna butt this, it's running. We'll smoke some later. I rolled it in my machine. I think I rolled it too tight. Okay, so this morning I was going through Jeff Epstein files and all this other stuff, and we might get to some of that tonight because I seen something interesting with Les Wexner. However, if we get to that, if I feel like getting to that, as I was looking for that, something interesting came across my algorithm. Now, this is something I've yet to hear from both channels. I listened to a little bit of both and then decided that I think it's more important that I listen with you. I actually think Tiffany's stream is extremely important here, and I think we need to listen to what her and Benny had found when it comes to Chip for mystery angels. Circle jerks, in my opinion, got some explaining to do, and I don't think they ever answered for this. I had gone to I'm having technical difficulties, guys. Anyways, hopefully you can all hear me. I don't know what the hell is going on with my computer right now. Seems to be a thing over here. Anyways, the circle jerks have some answering to do. I don't think they ever answered to this. And as I was looking at this, I go to the Circle Jerks channel and I do find another live of theirs that I want to go over. It's 4 hours. I'm going to try to put it on as fast as I can and get through as much as I can of these two lives because this one's 3 hours. But you're going to get the point of it, and then we'll just stop from there. Guys, please bear with me. I'm still sick, still taking antibiotics. Okay. Anyways, let's get this started.
So I want to point out, this is the perfect distraction, right? Because we're talking about
Absolutely.
kids, right? Little kids.
Correct.
That these people are trying to funnel into an app on their phone where they can sing songs that, you know, they can cam up, they can sing with other people. So we've got Chip over there, and the circle jerks are distracting with money. But say, while you're on the subject, Benny here is saying he's got a problem with you ladies, and he's got a problem with Griffey. So,
oh yeah, big problem. Where's
yeah.
Stella?
Where is Griffey today? Does anybody know where Griffey is? Nita, where the fuck are you? You promoted these people. You brought them out here on your channel. You were friends with them first. Libby, where the fuck are you, Libby? Where are you, Libby? Duchess. I got some questions. Your buddies, right?
That's what I want to know. Where's Stella?
Yes. Where is Stella?
I didn't mean to speak over you and not say nothing. Good afternoon.
No, you're fine. I do want to ask this because I've been doing some major research. I didn't know you sent them money, Benny, but I have seen Stella go to many different platforms from Chip.
So I'm confused because this, I believe, happened in 2023. September 24th, 2023. Again, it's Jenna that brings this information to Tiffany Marie. I didn't follow Jenna closely. However, you guys all know that I caught her, well, Benny, talking about, let me go see if I can find a short video on my channel. I don't know if I made one or if I just showed it live. Give me 1 second here, guys. Jenna was the one that called in the false tip. While the Wells were, here it is. It's 2 hours. Hold on, we'll see. Y'all don't like it? Clip it. Put it up.
Video was from the past. I'm one of those guys where if it's in the past, it doesn't make it any more or less relevant. Because
here's what we're gonna do, because this is hey Bella, this is a 2-hour live. I don't have it in me to do another 2-hour live. This is one of my lives. Go give it a listen. It'll give you some Jenna information, how Jenna called in the tip to Dr. Phil while Candace was there, that they had found Summer in North Carolina. However, years later, she's on this panel with Tiffany and Benny giving information about what the circle jerks and Griffey and Chip are up to. And I think this is quite extraordinary and something that needs to be listened to by everybody in the Summer Wells community.
To also, what's her name, Nita? And they were donating money to her as well. Like to her PayPal and stuff.
Who was that?
She was on Chip's channel.
Uh-huh.
She had Chip's PayPal. That's where all the money went to.
Oh, really?
And then she went to Nita's, and they were.
Yeah, we need Nita around. Like, Nita, I know that I don't fuck with you, but
yeah, need to bring your ass here. I'll pay $10 to come over and talk for 16 hours today.
We're gonna need to talk to Nita because we have a problem. Hold on, I'm gonna let you listen to some of this problem.
Or the police can go talk to Nita either way because she's tied in, baby.
Before we get into anything, and like, we got to separate this money shit from here, because this is, they want you to be distracted with money. This
Right.
Sorry. Maybe I am sounding rude. Maybe I am going to go to hell. Maybe this woman is really dead. But here's what I'm going to fucking say. I want fucking proof. I want 100% fucking proof, because it was around this time the bitch fucking disappeared. I guess after Tiffany, and then responded on this. But what you're going to see is a situation like Squall, where this bitch who's collecting money in Summer Wells' case is soliciting minors online.
is a more pressing issue at the moment, but listen, it's all important. Circle jerks, you don't have the authority to do anything or call shots with this, but apparently Tangeray and let's see, we what is it? The Ewok bitch? Yeah, she
Cross
wrote
the
the
Ewok.
script. So Ewok, we're gonna need to talk to you also. Fizzle, where are you? You were all up in this shit. So
I got Fizzle taken care of tomorrow morning. I'm finna handle her with 2 calls. You ain't even got to worry about her.
Okay. All right. So, all right. Well, let me play.
Penny and Libby, 100 million trillion % were in cahoots with Chip, Nita, Chase, all of them. Tiffany and Benny ain't lying about that. I got my issues with Tiffany. I got my issues with Benny. But when it comes to this shit for Summer Wells, when you see something, hey, Deb, when you see something, you got to say something, right? So before I started my channel, hung out in Libby's channel, hung out in Nita's channel. Griffey was 100% in there. Obsidian, whatever the fuck your name is. Where the fuck are you? Where the fuck are you today? All you motherfuckers that were sending money for several reasons to this fucking Griffey bitch over in South fucking Africa and to this fucking Chip playing motherfucking games. I want answers. Y'all scamming ass fraud motherfucking sick pedo ass motherfuckers. In my opinion, of course, I'm speculating.
Some of this. I want you guys to listen. This is from Carl's channel. Chip will give them a name. Pay attention, people. And just remember, when you look in your living rooms or wherever at your children, she's talking to them.
And I want to add before you play it, I want to add before you play this, that in my opinion, Shmuel ended up being the more likely suspect platform for her to do this kind of work.
For children.
Absolutely.
Griffey admitted to having all the knowledge of it. Jenna, thank you so much. Because had you not brought this over, we would not even know that Griffey just admitted to all of the knowing, right? The knowledge.
Well, see, the thing about it is the circle jerks have been on me for a very long time. So,
I know.
you know, that's what my channel
we're here
does.
to help you, Miss Jenna.
Yes.
If we expose
You know what's really funny? The circle jerks were always really cool to me. And then when I started attacking 6 Up, they attacked me out of nowhere. Like, literally out of nowhere. It was the strangest fucking shit. I wish I could find the clip or whatever, remember which one it was in. It was like a 2-second snob, jackass, ignorant ass fucking comment they made to me when I entered their chat, and I didn't think nothing of it. They said she passed away, Deb. I don't believe it. Not one bit. As a matter of fact, I think she's in fucking America. I think her accent is fake. I think everything about this bitch is fake as fuck. And if you ask me, she kind of looks like Jam 420.
Really the fuck shit. I'm sorry for cussing on your panel. That's what I do on my channel. I like the skinning and stuff like that and all the bull crap. That's what I do on my channel. I'm not Jenna's Journey no more, Benny.
I apologize. Is Jenna's
It's
World?
okay. No, it's raw, real, and uncut.
Raw. Okay. Then if you could at some point before we cut out, if you could put your link in the back, I sure like to follow you. I had lost track of where you was at, baby.
Oh, my mods, please drop, please drop Jenna's link. She's on my panel. Please also drop this link right here. I'm going to put this in the chat. This is the link to the video I'm playing right now. This comes from Carl. Hold on, I'm putting this in. If my mods could just let everybody know what's playing right now, I'm dropping that, and I can grab also, do I have your link? I do right here, Jenna. Here's Jenna's channel link. I know my mods will dress it up. Hold on. There you go.
Can you drag Jenna in the middle so that we can see her avatar, madam?
Yeah.
I mean, like, no, like you can go back to the 3 stack and just click on her and drag her from the bottom to the middle and then drop her and she'll stay there. Because they know my voice, but I want them to be able to see Jenna's.
Hold on.
So just click on her link or click on her picture on the screen and just drag it to where mine is and it'll move it automatically.
Mine don't move.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Where do I click on it?
Click on the screen where her icon is. Just hit the screen.
Oh, right on the screen. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay.
Now she'll be in the middle, and you'll see her avatar.
All right. Okay. Hold on. Sorry. I'm like, what? I was clicking on the one down in the backstage. Okay. So here, I don't like watching Chip. This is hard for me. Okay. Just know that this is all painful. I don't watch these circle jerkers either. They all make me sick. But this
fucking weird.
And I would definitely ask if you have your kids around, like, if you guys have your kids around, this probably isn't a stream to have them around for. Or
I agree, they're weird, Benny, but I also think that it's odd that you came back with a very close friendship to 6 Up. Got questions?
or grab your earbuds or something. I guess depending on, you could probably use this for educational purposes. So I guess maybe we could kind of keep this limited in a way. I guess people could kind of show their teenagers stuff like this. So it's important, really important. But Benny,
Absolutely.
Did you get to say everything that you need to say about this Mule app? Because I think you're right about that with the targeting of children that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they try to fish hatchery something on the YouTube with the angels, juniors, and the funneling from the main mystery angels to the juniors. And I think that she just found an easier way to do it, where she had complete access to children that would come on, because who would ever think until now that you had to watch your kids while they were in there karaokeing on Fuel? But you actually do, because that funnel, because Chip was DOA at that time, but we have proof she was alive. She was definitely not going to, in my opinion, do the grooming that she was trying to do on YouTube. She wasn't going to do that on the Shmule. So she was going to direct that somewhere else. And I think that we found throughout this expose, you'll hear that Chip had a private Discord, and that Griffey is the one that set all of that up, and then subsequently was the one to delete all of the evidence. So Griffey, your hands are fucking filthy, madam. Your hands are fucking filthy because you deleted all of the evidence that was in that Discord. And we know Fizzle was there too.
Yes. So was anybody in the community, I wanted to ask, was anybody in that Discord? Did
anybody want to tell me why Penny, and I'm going to bet Scott was in that Discord too? Because them two seem to be in every single fucking Discord since the very beginning of Summerwell's case. I don't even know what Discord is. I do my YouTube. I couldn't imagine having enough time to be in every Discord, but I guess it's okay when you have people like Linda checking your emails for you as you get emails about a fake Fed, right? Like, you got a group of people. Penny comes out here with no subs, not knowing anybody, a group of fucking people. Man, somebody make this make sense. Wait till you hear what this lady, take your shirt off, and
anybody witness anything, like what was in there? And please come forward, because she explains that she's the one that started it up, and she's the one that crushed that Discord too. And that's where I believe the children were, and I believe that's where they were speaking to them, because there's really no way except like a little chat on the side to talk to kids. So I didn't know there was a Discord until I listened to this stream. And the circle jerks, you cannot defend this. You can't.
You can try.
You can't
defend
try,
but I'll tell you what, this whole thing.
Oh, no, but they will.
I'm sorry.
No, they can't.
No, they will though. That's what they do.
No, it's what they do, but that's just here. Because when you listen to them, there's too many personalities, in my opinion, Ms. Jenna. They can't all keep on the same accord. That fucking thing started out 3 dozen people, and now it's down to 6 or 7, and there's a rotating door in it. This whole thing is tied fizzle directly to this shit.
Do not tell Benny he's wrong. Anyone coming in here to say this is wrong, no, it's wrong that all these people sat on this information for as long as they did and never said anything. How many children were preyed upon in the process of that? Keeping your mouth shut and having silence like that when this is going on. Yeah. So listen, I'm going to mute and I'm going to play this real quick because I don't think people even understand yet the severity of it. Like, hold on one sec. Let me just play one of these real fast because there's so
What
much.
were you going to say, Miss Jenna?
I have CJ Mack. She's in the chat. She wanted me to give you a message. She said, tell Tiffany, someone accepted a new member into the private Facebook group last week. The last Shmuel uploaded 17 days ago. And these are the circle jerks who defended Port Farmer, who is, I don't know if you're familiar with Port Farmer, but he protects pedophiles.
Holy shit. Morbid probably, huh, Jenna?
Huh?
Kind of like Morbid?
Yes.
Morbid?
Yeah.
Wow, or the Glare, who it would be that Ford Morbid. Okay, so Poor Door Farmer. Good to know.
Okay. Poor Door Farmer. Thank you, Jenna. Who was it that you said wrote that?
In my opinion, Penny's probably still around here under other names. Her and Chasing never had a falling out. She was in Chasing's chat forever up until at least 2024, kissing Chasing's ass. She disappeared around the time Benny disappeared. I think she's still fucking out here. I think Penny could have possibly been Slay. I think Penny was in every Discord. And I think there's something really fucking wrong with Penny. I think Penny was in every chat. I don't get it. I don't understand why Penny had all the time she had. I don't.
In the chat it was
CJ. She's one of my
CJ Mack. Okay,
Welcome,
thank you so much, CJ. Black Dahlia, hey, I've been looking for you. Miss you. Sorry, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna play this real fast. Thank you, Benny. I didn't hear her.
Yes, ma'am.
Then all you do is press that button. That's your first step. Then all you do is press that button. That's your first step. Mr. Angels is a safe place for you. You know, sometimes we get angry and we just want to say things to just get it off our chest. It's okay too. But sometimes it's a big, scary place. And sometimes, although everyone says you can trust, you have to earn trust. And I will earn my trust with you. We all will at Mr. Angels.
I bet you will. Creepy motherfucker, you.
And I will earn my trust with you. We all will at Mr. Angels. You can trust, you can trust. You have to earn trust. And I will earn my trust with you. We all will at Mr. Angels. We're going to have so much fun in Mr. Angels. We're going to have treasure hunts, games, gaming, joining groups in the games. You know how sometimes it's hard that you don't know people and it gets hard to join Xbox games or PlayStation games. And it's like you want to be a party, but you're scared to because, you know, you don't know no one. Then that's about to change on this channel.
Oof.
We're here for you. 16s and under.
16s and under, juniors only.
Lives where you can come up and ask us questions like, we're here for you. 16s and under.
Oof.
We'll be doing lives where you can come up.
I can do game coding on private game servers because it's like copy and paste. People will be like, well, if you can do that, you can do anything. Well, all it is copy and paste. You know, I've got, you know, my Discord that I follow, the ones that are really tech savvy in game coding, and, you know, they drop the cheats, and all I do is I copy those and I paste it over, you know, one of the current codes in the game. And that's all there is to it. I mean, it's really easy. And I do that, you know, for I started doing it for the grandbabies because, I would game with them. And one evening we were online gaming, and it was their bedtime, time for them to get ready for bed so they could go to school the next morning. And I stayed on playing. And I ran into a couple of other online gamers, and, I turned my mic on and spoke to them for a minute, and then I went back on mute. And they were like following me, and they were telling me, that my voice was sexy and everything. And I was like, what the crap, and
Yeah.
and it was just like, I was just like moving along and everything, killing zombies and stuff, and they were following me. And one of them said, how old are you? And the other one was like, oh, she's not an adult. You can tell with that voice, she's not even an adult. And I was like, what the heck? I'm pushing 50. And like, just listening to them in my headset, and then they said, well, she's probably a virgin. And the guy's
Oh
like,
my
oh, be
God.
quiet. She probably don't even know what the word virgin means,
Jeez.
and I am just sitting
Oh
there
my
like,
goodness.
It's dangerous out there, man.
I mean, the
Yes, it
chills,
is.
I mean, the hairs on my arms and my neck stood up. And I was like, I logged off, and I was like, it's time for some changes, with the grandbabies. I don't want them hearing that kind of language. And I got to look, and online gaming is a high,
I'm
very
sorry.
high human trafficking.
I'm only going to play this one time tonight. I have shared this so many times. Swall goes on to say she's on her to help families and their children, and she wants to help bring all these little kids into private discords, just like shit. Welcoming them. Come on, little kids. Come on. Listen, my husband plays video games. I don't see him on here going, or even talking to me going, I'm in private discords with little kids. My son plays Fortnite with my grandbabies. Yes, there's children on there. My son only lets my grandchildren address them when they're in the room, and when he addresses them game quality only. He doesn't invite them to discords. Discord is a place where parents can't see, they often don't know about, and people lure children there. It's not a good website for children. Parents need to be aware that their children are on private discords with adults. There needs to be something fucking done about it. This is now the second person in Summer Will's case that I'm here. I am so pissed off I missed this in 2023 when they posted this. Let's finish Squall. But if I would have heard this from Chip way back when, this would have been covered on my channel. Let's finish this.
Organization.
Yep.
It's
for
not
online gaming. And
It's a niche for predators.
I looked up how to rent a private game server for just, select people that you want to game with and nobody else, no strangers. And it's only like $13 a month. And you can rent a game server, and you can switch your game over. It's like we were playing DayZ, and, we got the games Conan Exiles, and they were wanting to play that.
Let me look those up with you. She's on here telling you that these are the games she doesn't want her grandkids. Hold on, let me go to YouTube. She doesn't want her grandkids to hear cussing and bad words.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another Daisy adventure. I have a duct tape. There's gear here. Look. Gear? Yeah. Grenade launcher. Ooh. Whoa. This wasn't actually that bad. We found almost an entire NPC suit that could help us get better gear before the final confrontation with the huge squad. Without thinking much, we stashed the NPC close to the Eastern Toxic Zone. And on the next day,
the other game she mentioned is just as bad. So these are not games you play with small grandchildren. Okay? So that's how you know Squall's full of fucking shit.
That, and so I switched the game over. I took off the DayZ and I put up Conan Exiles. We played that for a month, and they was wanting to go back to DayZ, and I was able to reinstall our DayZ game right where we left off, so it didn't even wipe that data. And I was like, heck yeah. And I've told friends about it, and they've kind of hired me, to help them with their children's game servers. And I charge them, what I do is I've rented them for a year, and then ever how much, they can afford to pay at a time. If, I charge them the actual price of the game server, and if they want to donate me any extra money for doing the settings and everything and controlling it. And I teach them how to download the gaming apps on their phones, and they can log in on their phone at any time and listen to what their kids are talking about in game.
We're done with that. She's full of shit. She ain't logging no fucking parents in. She's luring kids to her Discord. It's gross that she even came to YouTube and fucking presented that and then offered other YouTubers to do that for their children. Chip does worse. What Benny and Tiffany show is Chip being perverted right here, talking, literally telling you, come on, children, we'll take care of you. This is two people in a Summer Wells case, and something I want you to keep in mind, that during the time that Summer had gone missing, the three boys were sitting at the TV in the kitchen playing Minecraft.
And ask us questions like,
No question
you're stuck on a
formulated.
question at school, or you've got a problem, or your bike needs fixing, or maybe your computer's gone wrong.
Can you pause really quick?
Something like that.
So in my opinion,
Oh, Deb, I have so many comments about Roblox. My grandchildren are allowed to play it in the presence of my adult children. However, when I babysit, I am uncomfortable with them playing it at all, just because I cover such bad shit. And it causes tension in our home. Like, my son is like, you're so worried about kids being trafficked all the time. This just drove you crazy, and da 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 da. Well, I had to pull my granddaughter away a couple weeks ago. I don't know what happened to this young man not too long ago. Hold on. Oh, what am I doing? Give me 1 second here. I covered this.
Hang out with friends and outdoor, and please pick him. A New York teenager who's been missing for more than 2 weeks. His parents believe he traveled to New York City to meet someone that he met on the gaming platform Roblox. Officials say 15-year-old Thomas Medlin was last seen at Grand Central Station in Manhattan on January 9th. Thomas's mother, Eva Yan, joins us now. Eva, thank you for coming on to talk about your son. What exactly happened on January 9th, two weeks ago?
So on January 9th was Friday. In the morning, he told us, "Mom, I will stay in school, just hang out with friends and the dorm, and please pick me up at 9 p.m." So around 9 p.m., we was sure because we encourage all this social interaction with friends, with kids. He said he never did that before. So at 9 p.m., my husband went to pick him up. And he waited, couldn't find him. So I told him, please reach out to the security. And he left the name with us because in the morning we were asking him, whom you're going to hang out with. And he didn't leave a name. So my husband gave the name to the security. They immediately reach out to the friend, and the friend said, I only went to class with him today, and I did not hang out with him. So all the security from campus got involved looking for Thomas, and I went to all the dorm, couldn't find him. The search went up to 12 o'clock in the morning, and my husband and my friend and I went out to look for him like 1 o'clock in the 12:30.
Yeah.
After that, we reported to Suffolk County Police.
Okay, and you found out that he had, right after school at 3:30, had rushed over to the Stony Brook train station out on Long Island, taken the train into Grand Central. And I know the week before he had asked you, Mom, will you take me to Times Square? I really want to go to Times Square. Was he having chats with someone on Roblox? I know that surveillance video showed him on the platform in Grand Central. They tracked him, I think, based on his phone over the Brooklyn Bridge. And he was notified. The notification said he was last seen in Brooklyn or last appeared in Brooklyn. Was he chatting with someone on Roblox? Was he going into the city to meet someone that he was in correspondence with on Roblox?
That was some friend told school. Thomas was talking to him, said, I met somebody through Roblox. I want to go meet this person. I believe this friend from school told him, said, don't go. It's not that safe. You have to watch out. So we didn't know all this. We found out when.
So that's just a snippet. I covered that a couple weeks ago when this came out and broke. However, I have also looked up to this, and the cops are saying they can't find no evidence of this kid being on Roblox, but the friend is confirming, the family is confirming, they believe the kid was on Roblox. Kids are sneaky, and they still haven't found this 15-year-old boy. These video game systems are fucking scary today. It's not like in the 80s when I was a kid and you played Mario 3. Now you can literally talk to anybody. Your kids could be talking to Squall or Chip. Please keep an eye out, because I like, this has caused war in my home. Things like this. My kids don't understand it. Things like this do happen.
And I do it for donations. I don't charge. I do it, I charge them for the cost of the server, of course, because I can't afford that.
Right.
But for all the other services and stuff, I just, they give me donations. And it's something, if you're a parent or a grandparent or an aunt or uncle out there and your child is into online gaming, I highly, highly, highly recommend, for $13 a month, you and a couple of other parents of your child's friends can get together and pitch in on that. And it's even cheaper than $13 a month. And that's for a 10-person server. 10 gamers can get on there, usually for that price. Sometimes it's less depending on the game. And you can protect your child. They can get on there and play with their friends, and it's stress-free. You don't have to worry about them learning bad language or being sought after for human trafficking. And that's every person's worst fear when it comes to their child or to a loved one that's a minor.
Yes.
And, certain person wants to call me immature for doing that, for gaming with the kids. Go ahead. I'll take that. Yeah, I'm immature because I protect.
Hey, man.
That's not protection, Squall. That's inviting 10 kids to each server, and these kids are getting money off their parents and doing these servers themselves, and you're joining them. Let's go back to Chip. I've had enough. I can't believe the people that come out and this is proof that anybody can come out on YouTube and freely talk about the dangers of the internet while covering a missing child and collect money, because these are both people that have collected money. Squall has collected money to fix their home. Chip has collected money for the billboards, for reward funds.
You don't know the answers, we'll find.
When you're trying to solicit and disseminate this sort of information to disabled kids, because that's what she's really after. She's after disabled kids. Now, when you say to fix your bicycle, I don't think that these kids probably need any help in just YouTubing how to fix a bicycle. What this sounds like is they'll send somebody over there to fix your bicycle for you. This is meeting in real life. That's the setup for this. I digress.
Thank you, Benny.
Do the answers.
Yes, ma'am.
Or maybe you just want to come up and chat. We will hide your identity so no one knows who you are. Come up and chat. We will hide your identity so no one knows who you are. And chat. We will hide your identity so no one knows who you are.
Wow.
You will have a Mr. Angel logo, Junior's logo on your avatar, so no one will know your avatar, and we will change your name. We will give you a name so that way no one knows who you are.
You can't track what's been done to them.
Total safety. The only people who know who you are me, Auntie Griff, Auntie Stella, and Uncle Christopher.
Auntie Chris.
Computer's gone wrong or something like that.
And let me tell you, Circle Jerks, this is the issue. Chris Hines is tied into this, and I have the whole correspondence between Carl and a detective in the county where Chris lives at. They've invited me into the conversation, and I will be entering the conversation with the detective on Monday, tomorrow. Let me tell you what, Circle Jerks, I don't care what the fuck you ladies think over there in the UK. They're interested in what Chris was involved with these people. He wants every stitch of information, and they are actively investigating the shit out of Chris Hines right now. So I don't care. You can come over here and circle jerk these people all around all you want, but American law enforcement, baby, they're very interested in what these people were doing. So you can come here with your mouth full of cheese, dick. I don't care about that.
Well, most of the circle jerks are from the United States.
Huh?
Most of the circle jerks are from the United States. There's only a couple of them that's not.
Oh yeah, I already got all their names. Ziggy gave them to me. I know who every last one of them is. There's one that lives 1.5 miles from Carl. So y'all know who they all are. They need to be very careful.
Needs fixing, or maybe your computer's gone wrong or something like that. Or you're stuck on a question at school, or you've got a problem, or your bike needs fixing, or maybe your computer's gone wrong or something like that. And if we don't know the answers, we'll find you the answers. Or maybe you just want to come up and chat. We will hide your identity so no one knows who you are and chat. We will hide your identity so no one knows who you are. You will have a Mr. Angel logo, Junior's logo on your avatar, so no one will know your avatar, and we will change your name.
Wow. That's what you do to victims after they've been victimized. Why they try to keep these children anonymous before they're victimized? That's crazy.
So that no one can ever know who these children are to begin with.
Yeah, you're killing the trail to the evidence right there.
They're actually taking their identity before they prey on them.
Correct.
Like they're stripping them of their identity before. So this is like, you guys, this is really sick stuff. Like if this is sensitive, I apologize so much, but I'm not hiding this from anyone. And Circle Jerks, you're up next. You cannot defend this. You just can't. Even Ewok is admitted knowledge also. So Ewok bitch, like what are you doing? No, not around here.
She's the shoveler. She's gonna cover up.
Mm-hmm.
Junior's logo on your avatar, so no one will know your avatar, and we will change your name. We will give you a name, so that way no one knows who you are. So you can come in total safety. The only people who know who you are me, Auntie Griff, Auntie Stella, and Uncle Christopher.
She's telling strange children that she's Auntie Griff, Auntie Stella, Auntie Chip. Oh my God. If you're being harmed at home, just come. We'll change your name. You can talk to us. You can tell us anything. Please just come on against your parents' wills. Come into my Discord and be my friend. We'll talk to you. I'm pissed.
Now, keep in mind, so
I can't believe I missed this. I was floored when I seen this morning. Oh, but this ain't it. We got other stuff. We're only going an hour into this. I think I got my point across. We're going to go to the circle jerks and cover a little bit of Ziggy with the circle jerks and then more of Griffey and Stella.
Auntie Griff is who you're going to see on the next. I'm going to play a couple of these. You guys need to know what they're defending over there first. I had to play these first. Hold on. The next one is called IPs, phone numbers, and home addresses. Okay. I will drop that link in the chat. Sorry to torture you guys with this. I know it's rough. I'm sick to my stomach. Like I'm really, like my nerves are shot.
The only reason why you would get blocked is if you hurt others. We can't have that here. If you've got a kind word to say to someone, to put a smile on their face, then you're welcome here. But if you've got hate in your heart, and you don't want to change, and you just want to attack or hurt or bully or pick on, then this isn't the channel for you. Because your IP address will be registered because we're dealing with under 16s. So as you log on to Junior Mr. Angels, be registered because we're dealing with under 16s. Because your IP address will be registered because and this isn't the channel for you. Because your IP address will be registered because we're dealing with under 16s.
Wow. The IP address is going to narrow it down to the very house, the address.
Right.
More precise than even GPS might show you. Some of the GPSs there's a plus or minus of where they're showing you. The IP is where your Wi-Fi router is registered to. I digress.
You will also log on a register with your IP address and your phone. If you've got your phone, it don't matter. And
read Jocelyn's comment here.
IP and all them.
She says, while we're discussing Griffey Stella, we should probably ask MZ to join on panel. She owns both mystery channels, Angels channels. Why is that? MZ needs to open her mouth.
Speaking of that, I did some research. Let me take some time out since we all get the point of this fucking stream, right? In this gross, grotesque shit. We can come back and watch this whole stream. I'm going to take little clips out of this stream because this goes deep. This goes into the marathon, into Benny sending this lady money, other people sending this lady money. However, I did some research the other day. Let me log in. Am I logged in? Yeah, hold on. I come up with a really good idea, and I don't understand why it is our government. So in the United States, I don't know how it is in other countries, but in the United States, I was watching the Savannah Guthrie case a couple weeks ago, and they had found the black glove. And I was thinking, could they get DNA or fingerprints from inside the glove, since it seems to be a rubber type of glove? Would the fingerprints stick to the inside? Well, that had got me thinking about, remember when your kids were little, or even I remember doing it when I was little, when I was in the 80s, and they gave your parents them missing cards at school or at the library, or maybe your community had a day where they would pass out the cards for missing kids, and you would go and you'd take your kid's picture and put it on it, their school picture usually. You'd do their thumbprint, their fingerprint, you'd write their information on this card in case they ever got missing. Something that bothered me that I was researching, and this is proof I was researching it. I'm not going to go through and read it all. I'm just going to tell you what I found. They don't store those cards in any kind of system. It's just up for the parents to have those cards. Now we're hearing in the Epstein case that Life Touch is very involved, that all these school pictures are named in this Epstein file. I don't understand why Life Touch never did something with school children. They would have everybody in America's fingerprint. You could put it in the database, the national database for fingerprints, and find anybody's. When your children are born, they don't log. The government doesn't log and document fingerprints. Footprints. Do you remember, at least here in Pittsburgh, we get the baby's footprints, and on the footprints is the parents' thumbprints. My son who passed away, I was mad because they drew over, they put a little kitty face on my thumbprint. And I was thinking, why would you do that? So as I was researching, I had found out that they don't log thumbprints and fingerprints into the system. Could you imagine how many children and how many crimes would be broken if they took these fingerprints that are taken from every American and logged them into the system with some DNA? Just in case there's a crime or anybody goes missing, like into we have the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. If you kept everybody's log in there until they were 18, their DNA profile, why doesn't our government or any other government do something like that? Why are we taking fingerprints of our children in school and passing out these missing things if we're not really considering using them if our children ever go missing? Catch my drift? We got 10 minutes. We'll go listen to Benny a little more. And Tiffany.
MZ is your key here. MZ, whoever that is. Who is that?
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I was talking and I was muted. Okay, sorry. So who is MZ?
I know MZ.
Okay.
She comes in my chat and I don't know nothing about it. I think it would be best if she talks about that. I don't know.
So is that true? Do you know if that's true?
I don't know if it's true or not. She would have to be the one to answer that.
All right. Okay.
Mystery solved. That's an allegation. You needed to sit back and pay attention a little bit before you say anything about Miss Jenna. She didn't, to my opinion, she didn't hide nothing.
I think what you're going to see here is, so now it's very important. Everybody gets left here in the chat. I told my mods before, don't time anybody out because this is where all the pieces move around. So not everything you see is going to be true in the chat. A lot of people are going to try to distract and they're going to try to blame Jenna for things. You know what? We'll sort through all of this. Just, we'll allow all the things, right? Because that's where we see all the deflectors and all that. I like all those things to be left in the chat. So make sure, where is Trixie Star? Anybody?
That's what I want to know because I heard she was part of this too.
She was. Trixie is the one that merged with Penny, Chase. So Trixie, Penny, Chase, they were all involved with pretty much bringing it alive. The whole billboard,
the number one modding for Nita, I believe texted me from an 814 fucking number pretending to date Chase. I think they're related. I think they are physically related. I don't know that for sure. That is my take on it, because how could you be living with Lizzie and dating Trixie at the same fucking time? It doesn't make no motherfucking sense. Benny confirmed it was Lizzie Chase was living with, and the son told me it was somebody from California. Trixie is not from California. She was all involved. Yeah, she was in all of the chats. It was stated by Lip Lock No More that she is Lip Lock No More's granddaughter. She also modded for Tiffany Marie, so I'm curious. Will do, Marie, 100%. But I caught Trixie playing games with somebody named Julie Buford. She's been on my chat. She's strange. She was at the vigils. I'm going to go to my Canva and see if I can pull this up real quick before we switch to circle jerks. Oh. She was very involved in this vigil. And then her and Trixie came out making Facebook groups together, helping each other out, building each other. Julie had sent me a hidden YouTube with every fucking creator's video on it. She would call me in the middle of the night. I gave her a wrench. She was odd as fuck. I gave her a wrench. Not a wrench. I gave her a mod position in my Facebook group. I was hospitalized. I couldn't be on. I had to have a cath lab. I was sick over the lawsuits. They caused enough stress and anxiety that they had put me into the hospital. And that was right after I took my first channel down, where I lost like 2,500 subs, right? You know? And she started harassing everybody in my group and doing really weird shit. And her and Trixie were in cahoots together on Facebook. Like, it was the oddest fucking shit I ever fucking dealt with. This bitch has been on my panel. Let's sit down just for a minute and watch. I hope it's this one she's in, where she gives a speech about collecting money for cracking cases and all the YouTubers.
Greater than any of our problems, greater than any of our situations, greater than anything that we're facing. A lot of times you'll hear.
I don't know if this is it. Hold on. There she is, sitting right here.
The people who are out here searching, reaching out to the police station, reaching out to the news outlet. Thank you for her obedience, Father. And thank you for letting us play this small part of this, because it's ultimately you. We're just playing this small part. We're believing you is greater things. Move through this night. The only way that you.
Guys, I'm trying to find where she speaks. This is just Joseph Broadwater. I can't find it right now. We'll come back another night and cover it, but you can see she's on there and she's asking for money, lots and lots of money for the YouTubers, for cracking cases. For, I think she mentioned Chris McDonough, Q Carlock, John Carlock. She's begging for the money at this. Chase, the billboards. Chase, I'm here. You see Jamie Jackhammer is there, Joseph Broadwater. Man, we'll go over the vigils tomorrow. That's what we'll do tomorrow, because I haven't done that in a while. We'll go over all the vigil shit. Okay, where are we at here? We're going to move on, because this is bullshit. All right. I don't want to spend too much time on this. We're going to skip through, because I want to go into two videos I made of some news reports with Ghislaine Maxwell. They're not completely finished. I actually have 3, but I want to listen to them since I'm covering that as well. So we're going to spend about 30 minutes on this. That's about as much time as I'm giving these fucking bitches. Okay. They have disappeared. They have taken their content down. 6 Up is still over there running her fucking trap. And I don't trust and believe a damn fucking thing these people said after watching that, which, by the way, I clicked out. I will share the link to the live I just showed you. I truly believe you guys need to watch that whole live. There's a lot of detail in it. I haven't even got to watch the most of it. My point tonight was just mainly about chipping the Discord servers. But there's so much more in what we just watched with Benny and talking about Penny and so many other things. Nita. But here's where we get into Nita and all that other shit. A little bit. We're just going to listen to a little bit of Ziggy so you know what this was about. And then we're going to skip ahead.
Cindy sort this out, and it's been like talking to a brick wall.
Yep. I mean, what about Cindy, who had to cover her payment today? With Ziggy, you're still gonna owe a fucking late fee because you were late.
Yep. You're not off the hook.
So right there, outright.
Ziggy, if
refusal
you
to
want
pay.
this to go away, Brenda, if you'd like us to quit talking about it, we'll be happy to do it
Pay
when
it.
she
Pay it off.
pays Ziggy back. I mean, pays
Nothing
Cindy
would
back.
give me greater satisfaction than to never have to mention Ziggy ever again. But I'm not going to lie down and let her roll over Cindy and
Not
destroy
happening.
Cindy. It's not
No.
happening.
We will talk about this and talk about this and continue to talk about it until she pays Cindy back.
Yep.
It's not going away. I don't care how many people come into the chat crying about it. Go windmill somewhere else.
Yeah, let's not confuse Bleeding Heart Brenda with the fabulous Brenda Lee.
The right Brenda knows which one was being spoken about like that.
Right.
Plus, Andrew, he paid his back before it ever became public. I believe he took out a loan against his house.
Yep, that is true.
Yeah. Maybe.
I was just
It's
laughing
possible.
at that.
It's possible.
God, my freaking computer is so laggy. All right, on to the next topic. Where were we going?
They were going to talk about what happened at camps.
Oh, okay. Carry on.
Carry on. I want to hear.
So,
okay.
Cams, wow. So essentially he started doing his show. He was going to do his show. He was talking about, which we can talk about this too, the video that Lips had put out, as well as then BK put out a video, essentially, you know, saying he's back on drugs, this and that. And he was addressing that. And then BK wanted a link to come up there. And shit went from there. I mean, it didn't get any better. Then Chasing Truth came up. She just wanted to clear the air on the whole, I don't know, the wrench game was going on in chat. I mean, why is my wrench gone? That type of thing. It was a whole mess and nothing about Summer.
Yeah,
I got back late, so I didn't get to see all of it. And yeah, it was crazy when I went in there. Like he and BK were up there. Allie said the F word. Allie threw an F-bomb out there. You know it.
There we go.
See, there it is right there. So it shows that it has had 485.
Allie and Drinky Drink was she.
So as you can see, this live is completely filled with information. However, the part I want to get to is when Scott enters panel. This is when they talk about Griffey. I'm going to put it on 2-speed or 1.5 to see if you guys can understand. If not, I'll slow it down. I'm going to try to go as fast as I can because this is a really long live, but this is definitely, I shared the link, a live that you should watch the whole damn live. However, I'm skipping ahead today just because my interest today is Stella, Griffey, and Chip.
He was especially excited today on channel.
Yeah, good. That's good. We can give them a little taste of Griffey's channel, and they can go over there and become subscribers.
Yes, lots of fun fuckery going on at Griffey's.
Most definitely. Once again, on your own panel, you have my permission to share anything that is on my channel, on your channel.
Thank you.
I appreciate that, Griffey. Good night.
Good night. Have a lovely evening.
Good night.
Love you, lady.
Good night. Night, Scott. Good night, Griffey.
Welcome.
Hey, Scott.
I was just going to add something right quick. Y'all are doing a really great job in explaining this, but I believe it was Dietz that put out a video. Cindy agreed with me in the comments, so I think I'm right on the creator that put it out, explaining kind of the breakdown of the terms of the credit card.
Right.
And she went to a credit card calculator like you ladies have done. And I just wanted to add one thing to what Dietz did. And this is in no way saying that Dietz didn't do a fantastic job on that video, because Ziggy really needs to watch that daily, hourly to understand. On that credit card calculator, Dietz was trying to enter in the amount that's to where they're going to get their money. They're going to go after that money. So that's going to involve bill collectors and y'all know all the ugly stuff. It's going to take Cindy's credit, all kinds of mess. But that credit card company will go after Venmo, will go after their money. They will go after their money.
Right.
They're just not going to say, okay, we'll just we'll just cut the losses here. Now they may do that depending on the legalities of what Cindy's doing. If they can determine that in some way that it was fraud or whatever, then they can get it turned over, and they'll come after the money from Ziggy, which is what they should do, and not Cindy. But regardless, Venmo's coming after their money from somebody.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's why Cindy made the additional payment today, because she can't have that going on her credit. So she paid the other 125 that was due today. Yeah, because this is her credit. This is her.
I hope I did this right. I'm getting a little nervous. I think I might have been supposed to watch Griffey prior, but I do think they talk about her again, so I'm going to skip through. Right now, I don't give a fuck about the Cindy and Ziggy shit, although that needs to be covered, and this is a good live to watch it. And don't worry, Circle Jerks, I downloaded the live. You can delete it.
After Bullhorn Betty came up on Cracking Case's panel and made an ass of herself, Don called them, Bullhorn, after the live and invited them up.
Okay.
So that was after Dolly was there. And honestly, Dolly didn't even go there to meet with them. He got a call while he was there, and Don wanted to meet with him.
Right. Okay. I knew there was a notification on my community post would go digging in. And I said something like, I couldn't understand his name. What was it? So a lot of people, they couldn't understand his name. But I think it was like the fourth person that commented. It was like, whoa, have you seen what his son was into? Because that's exactly what I wanted people to see. Why did I want people to see that? Because I'm not saying Don Sherfy did anything, but his son sure has a proclivity to have child porn, as well as people that Jody Sue Brown knows and is associated with. A couple of them, that Randy Hobb
will send you daily nudes for some environment based on bullshit is not better for those kids.
From somebody.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's why Cindy made the additional payment today, because she can't have that
X Rewards Platinum MasterCard account. Sincerely, Synchrony Customer Care.
Okay, guys, I may have the wrong live pulled up, or I may have to clip that because it's a long 5-hour live. I should have done better because I was really, really, really concerned with the Epstein files today. So I'm going to skip this and apologize for flunking my own damn live. I'm going to pull the pieces I need out of that. And I'm going to make videos for you because Griffey was on there talking about money grifting money, them sending her money, needing money for Africa, and all kinds of shit. And I think that it's very important that we sit back and listen to it. However, because I have been sick and I was just trying to rush my live today and I fucked up. I ain't gonna lie. However, I do have some other stuff we can go over. I don't know who's been following the Wes Lexner stuff. Hopefully this is the right, I'm all fucked up today. Hopefully this is the right live, but I want you to hear something I caught today. And it caught my interest because I'm from Pittsburgh. Who has heard of BNY Mellon Banking? Anybody? There's a man named Matthew Mellon who has connections here in Pittsburgh. However, he's not from Pittsburgh, never lived in Pittsburgh, but because he is connected to the Mellon name, it caught my interest when I heard Les Wexner say that there was this email or something that had gone past. If this isn't the right clip, don't fret. I have the information I'm going to go over with you quickly, and I pulled out to prove. So Matthew, Mellon is married to the co-founder, and he helped co-found Jimmy Choo. the shoes. They're my favorite heels. However, I'm a little sick right now, thinking what I'm thinking. This is a name that wasn't redacted from the Epstein files. I haven't found no other evidence of this name in the Epstein files, but where the name is placed in these files is absolutely fucking horrifying. So I wanted to today show some connections. Hold on, but before I do that, let me show you what's in these files. I'm going to read this email. This is to somebody named Edward. This is sensitive, so it will be the first and last email depending on your discretion. You can choose to take it, trash it, but this comes from a person that has been there and seen it all as the former staff at Zoro. The material below was taken from Jeff Epstein's home as my insurance in case of future litigation against Epstein. Sorry, no questions. What is damning about Jeffrey Epstein is yet to be written. Did you know somewhere in the hills outside of Zoro, 2 foreign girls? Oh, maybe this isn't. I'm sorry, guys. This has nothing to do with Wes Lexner. I'm going to have to go find a different video. Did you know somewhere in the hills outside of the Zoro, 2 foreign girls were buried on orders, and Jeffrey and Madam G both died strangulation during rough fetish sex. Here's the video footage of Jeff Epstein. If you go down to number 5, link 7 minutes, 31 seconds, underage girl, Matthew Mellon video. Please arrange for 1 Bitcoin EDA today, Thursday, 11/22/19. So Matthew Mellon made his own wealth by investing in Bitcoin in the early days of Bitcoin. Let me again go to my chat GPT because I was looking some stuff up and they were arguing with me. So let me explain to you who Matthew Mellon is. As you can see, this is what the hell I was doing today. This may also tell me exactly what video I seen it in. Okay, Matthew Taylor Mellon II, January 28th, 1964, April 16th, 2018. He is passed away. He's gone. He's no longer on this earth. He passed away in 2018. Was an American businessman, investor, and heir to the wealthy Mellon family, one of the most prominent banking and industrial dynasties in the U.S. history. Background and family. Born in New York City, Mellon was a descendant of Judge Thomas Mellon, who was a famous judge here in my city. Founder of the Mellon, now part of BNY Mellon. He was also related to on his maternal side to banker Anthony Joseph Drexel. Linked historically to Drexel Burnham Lambert. So this is a trust fund baby, somebody born into cash. He already had lots of wealth when he was born, but he had a rug problem. He grew up in Manhattan, Florida, and Maine, and studied management at Wharton School of University of Pennsylvania, which is more towards the Philadelphia side. He never lived in Pittsburgh. Mellon was active in business and politics. He served as chairman of the Finance Committee of the New York Republican State Committee. He was involved in fashion entrepreneurship, including roles with Jimmy Choo, Harry of London, and Henley Mellon. In the late 2010s, he became well known as an early investor in cryptocurrency, particularly Ripple's RP, reportedly turning a modest investment into a large fortune. Personal struggles and death. Mellon battled long-term addiction and health issues. In 2018, at age 54, he died in Cancun, Mexico, just as he was about to enter a rehabilitation clinic. At the time of his death, he left behind 3 children and a significant but controversial cryptocurrency estate. In summary, Matthew was a high-profile heir and entrepreneur whose life blended elite finance, crypto speculation, fashion ventures, and public political roles, marked by personal highs and deep struggles. Now, I go deep into this, which I'll get into it another day if we get into it. But that is, let me go here and make sure I have the right. Is this it? Here's a couple.
New Mexico's Attorney General has reopened an investigation into Jeffrey Epstein's former Zoro ranch as allegations swirl about what role the secluded spot played in sexual abuse or sex trafficking of underage girls and young women. Attorney General Raul Torres' office said the decision was made after reviewing information recently released by the U.S. Department of Justice. There are thousands of references to the ranch in the documents released by federal authorities. New Mexico's initial case was closed in 2019, but state prosecutors say now that, quote, revelations outlined in the previously sealed FBI files warrant further examination. The investigation is one of several major developments in the continuing fallout from the release of the federal government's so-called Epstein files. In Washington, D.C., members of Congress are still working to lift the veil with more testimony from powerful people. On Thursday, video was released of a 6-hour deposition of billionaire retail mogul Les Wexner. He remains defiant that he didn't know of or participate in Epstein's crimes, doubling down on the fact that the two weren't friends. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is scheduled to appear before the same House Oversight Committee next week, with former President Bill Clinton following the next day. And lawyers for Epstein accusers said they've reached a proposed settlement in a class action lawsuit against his estate, the latest effort to compensate his victims.
This is what it says, quote, Edward, this is sensitive, so it'll be the first in the Epstein files, that dead bodies are buried on one of the deceased financier's famous properties. We are going through the allegations, the launch of a new investigation, and I'm going to bring on a professional coroner to discuss, is this even possible? Can the alleged bodies be found and properly examined? Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Jeffrey Epstein has...
I found the correct video. Okay, so you're going to hear Jesse talk about these emails that I just read to you. It's going to catch you up on what I'm talking about. You'll understand it better. But I'm also going to show you some news articles that shows proof of Ghislaine friends with his ex-wife at Jimmy Choo. Now, there's another article I'm going to hold back today because I'm using it for some other content. It tells more of Ghislaine's life. I don't know. Maybe we'll listen to it. It's just undone. Okay, hold on.
Been called a lot of things, and he has been accused of a lot of things. But killer? Being responsible for the cover-up of violent deaths? That would be a new one. But I gotta say, what are we supposed to make of these new allegations coming out of the Epstein files? Because as you may know, we've been covering as best as we can the existing files that were released from the Department of Justice. And something came out that we got to talk about. Buried in the millions and millions of pages, there is an email that has now stood out for a very dark reason. There is an email from November 2019. It's directed to an Edward Aragon. According to KOB4, he's a local radio host. The other names are redacted in this email, but this is what it says. Quote, Edward, this is sensitive, so it'll be the first and last email depending on your discretion. You can choose to take it or trash it, but this comes from a person that has been there and seen it all as a former staff at the Zoro. The material below was taken from Jeffrey Epstein's home as my insurance in case of future litigation against Epstein. Sorry, no questions. What is damning about Jeffrey Epstein is yet to be written. Did you know somewhere in the hills outside the Zoro, 2 foreign girls were buried on orders of Jeffrey and Madam G? Both died by strangulation during rough fetish sex. And there even appear to be links to purported sex videos, including one that says sex video with minor. And then it goes on to say, please arrange for 1 Bitcoin BTC by 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today, Thursday, 11/22/19, to the BTC wallet address that's redacted. The USB will be sent anonymously to your attention by overnight courier upon receipt of the funds. You have my assurance this is exclusive, never shared before, no attorneys, no samples, no questions, please confirm ASAP. So Zoro.
In my opinion, it's a blackmail email. That is an email that is blackmailing somebody. Please send 1 Bitcoin. He sends a list of all of the names. Now, as you see, Jesse redacted that list. But we're going to continue listening because I believe he starts talking about it. I had gone and pulled them up, and we can go through the whole email. I'll show it to you. But this is interesting as fuck. And if true, it's sick. What's even more sick is the fact that no law agency, there was no warrants ever issued for Zoro Ranch. They never searched Zoro Ranch. It's been sold. It's in the middle of a fucking desert, literally in the middle of fucking nowhere. There's nothing. And look at these pictures, yo. Like, hold on. Imagine the shit you could get away with on land with absolutely nothing for miles and miles and miles around it. No police. Nobody knows what's going on. In the middle of a fucking desert. No roads around it. An airport strip. A helipad. Imagine the sick, grotesque shit that could go on in the middle of nowhere where nobody monitors. The shit I'm reading about Zoro Ranch and these files are fucking gross, and I am going to cover more. We're going to dig deep. All right, so let's go back to Jesse.
Zoro, by the way, is referring to Zoro Ranch. It's about 30 miles south of Santa Fe, New Mexico. We've talked about this Epstein property before. We had found evidence that upon Epstein's death, he wanted this property, along with all of his major properties, to go to Corinna Shuliak, his purported secret girlfriend. This is in trust documents and will documents. Now, Epstein, based on the reporting here, apparently purchased the 7,500-acre property from former New Mexico Governor Bruce King in 1993. And there were several civil lawsuits that accused Epstein of sexually assaulting girls at this property. It was dubbed the Playboy Ranch, where Epstein, in fact, is accused of sexually abusing a 16-year-old girl as early as 1996. And for example, you have this unsealed 2016 court deposition where the Epstein accuser, renowned Epstein accuser, Virginia Giuffre, testified that Ghislaine Maxwell ordered her to give the late former New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson a massage at the ranch. Now, this radio host, Aragon, said that he got this message anonymously. He sent the email to the FBI, which is why, by the way, it was in the Epstein files to begin with, why it was released from the DOJ. And he indicated that he didn't pay this person, which when you think about 1 Bitcoin back in the day was reportedly worth about $8,000 at the time. And he indicated that while he spoke to an FBI agent, he never heard anything more from it, didn't know the status of the investigation. Now, let me be clear about something, okay? We couldn't find more corroborating evidence to support this claim that, they're dead bodies somewhere in the area of this ranch or on the ranch. We don't know if these allegations are true. But if they are true, when would this have happened? We don't know that either. But apparently, I will tell you, this ranch, this claim, is being taken seriously. And in a little bit, I'm going to be bringing on a professional coroner to determine what can we expect here? What potential evidence could be left behind? How can you even find a body? What will be left to actually examine? How much can we tell here? But the reason that we're even bringing a coroner on and talking about this is because this claim is getting serious attention. You have New Mexico's Land Commissioner, Stephanie Garcia Richard, who sent a letter to the New Mexico Department of Justice and the U.S. Attorney's Office requesting a full investigation. According to KOB4, Epstein had apparently leased land around this ranch from the state land office, did it through a company called Cypress Inc., but Garcia Richard ended that lease in light of what happened with Epstein. And in a further escalation, the Chief Deputy Attorney General, James Grayson, said the Department of Justice is taking these allegations seriously, only has so much information right now to go forward with because they're working to try to get the original documents to try to verify these accusations. Grayson saying, quote, as we understand it, the allegations appear to be unsubstantiated and stem from an anonymous individual referencing events that purportedly occurred more than 6 years ago. We will work to obtain the original unredacted emails and any underlying files, as access to complete and authentic materials is critical to our assessment and planning. These circumstances raise significant concerns regarding the reliability, authenticity, and credibility of the claims. Notwithstanding those concerns, we are prepared to review and assess any verifiable information should it be provided through appropriate and lawful means. Stephanie Garcia Richard saying, quote, it is our responsibility to manage this land, and if it was being used for nefarious purposes, if it was being used for criminal purposes, we need to know. All right, before we move on, I got to give a quick shout out to our partner, CyberGhost VPN. Look, have you ever hesitated to connect to public Wi-Fi like in a restaurant, airport, work, school, because you're afraid someone might steal your information? It's totally reasonable. The truth is, I
think you should expect that you'll get to ask a lot of hard questions, and I think you should expect them to move aggressively forward.
Our governor commending lawmakers at the end of this session for their efforts to find the truth behind what happened at convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein's Zoro Ranch here in New Mexico.
But they're not the only ones joining the search for answers, or in this case, rejoining. The New Mexico Attorney General's office is reopening a criminal investigation of Epstein's Zoro Ranch, which closed 7 years ago. Trevor Thompson joining us now with their plans and what has been a week full of news related to Epstein in our state. Trevor.
Yeah, sure has. Certainly. If the New Mexico DOJ gets what they're asking for, we could see even more news about Jeffrey Epstein and his ties to Zoro Ranch and the rest of New Mexico. But here's what we did learn today about their new investigation that is stemming from an old investigation. Epstein, of course, died in 2019. That very same year, the Manhattan U.S. Attorney asked New Mexico to stop its investigation. Now, our state's Attorney General, Raul Torres, is reopening that same investigation and also wants the feds to turn over complete unredacted files concerning both Epstein and Zoro Ranch. We also know that the new Epstein Truth Commission will be involved in this, which lawmakers just established during the session. They have until the end of this calendar year to look into Epstein with an interim report that's scheduled for July 31st. They promise to move very quickly to get some answers.
As we continue to formally commence this subcommittee, subpoenas will very likely be issued for those that do not want to voluntarily come forward and speak to us as a subcommittee.
We can't overlook the fact that this week we also learned of key political figures with reported ties to Epstein. That includes a former gubernatorial candidate and also a current one. We're, of course, talking about former AG Gary King, who ran for governor in 2014, and Deb Haaland, who is running right now. A flight invoice indicated they were both on a plane that was chartered by Epstein from Santa Fe to D.C. in 2014. Now, Haaland was running for lieutenant governor at that time. Her campaign says that she never, though, interacted at all with Epstein. And King said he didn't know the plane was connected to him. Here's what King also said about his knowledge of Epstein during his time as AG, which lasted from 2007 up until 2014.
I'm not personally aware, and I think I would have got briefed on it from my investigators of any tips or anything during the whole time that I was Attorney General that there was anything going on in New Mexico regarding Jeffrey Epstein.
So King said that he thought former Governor Bill Richardson helped to arrange for the flight. Richardson's name was also just removed from a building over at UNM Hospital. They did not confirm exactly why, but we should note it did happen after he was named in the Epstein files. Also, the new owner of Zoro Ranch is making headlines. Don Huffines bought the ranch and later renamed it San Rafael Ranch. He's a real estate developer from Texas who's now running for comptroller out there. He said the following, though, on X, formerly Twitter, about the investigation or the lack of any investigation so far into the ranch. He said, quote, "We have always maintained an open line of communication with local authorities. No law enforcement agency has ever approached me to request access." Last but not least, we also learned about an upcoming event to honor victims at Zoro Ranch. A group is planning to place memorial items there on Saturday, February 28th at 11 in the morning.
Representative, explain to us.
Never searched. Zoro Ranch was never searched. Here's another short clip similar to that one. I was looking for her and I can't find. There was a lawmaker sitting in her car crying. I'm trying to, let me search real quick and see if I can find it. I can't, I looked in my history. I don't know what the hell happened to it. I wanted to show that clip, so I'm a little upset. Hold on. We have to tell the truth. New Mexico probes Epstein Ranch amid calls for accountability. Let me play this clip I want to show right now. I'm going to look just a little bit harder.
New Mexico is reopening its investigation into Jeffrey Epstein's former Zoro Ranch after newly released federal documents raised fresh questions about what may have happened on that property. Attorney General Raul Torres ordered the review, saying material in the latest release of the Epstein files warrants further examination. The remote ranch, about 30 miles south of Santa Fe, was one of Epstein's most notorious properties, a sprawling compound with a mansion and private airstrip. State prosecutors closed their original case in 2019 at the request of federal authorities in New York. Epstein never faced charges in New Mexico, though investigators at the time confirmed they interviewed potential victims connected to the ranch. Now the state has sent a letter to Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche requesting full unredacted federal records, including a 2019 email in the files that alleges 2 foreign girls were buried near the property. A claim Reuters reports is unverified. Lawmakers have also created a bipartisan commission to examine whether the ranch facilitated abuse or trafficking and if officials failed to act. The property was sold in 2023 to the family of Texas Republican politician and developer Don Huffines, who says he will operate it as a Christian retreat.
The United Kingdom is still reeling after the arrest and release of former Prince Andrew.
I wanted to give a checkup on that too. So as you see, they are reopening investigations. There are claims of unalived girls that come over internationally. I'm going to now play. I was telling you about the Jimmy Choo connection with this Matthew Millen. I found a couple of throughout. I don't even think I looked in the Epstein files for this. I think I found it on Getty Image and just the internet, because it's them Epstein files are so hard. So if I hear something, I try to compare it, look, search, do all the research to find all the best information I can. But as you see, This is on the end in the black and red dress with Ghislaine Maxwell is the ex-wife. You'll see. It explains it. Let me shut this.
Tamara Mellon, the co-founder of Jimmy Choo, has written a memoir called In My Shoes, and a party was held in the grill room at the Four Seasons the other week to celebrate its publication. The book tells of Mellon's childhood in 1970s Los Angeles and Belgravia, when she was still Tamara Yeardai, the daughter of the co-founder of Vidal Sassoon, her party girl years in London, snorting coke at Tramp, the nightclub for knobs, her marriage to and divorce from Matthew Mellon, a manic-depressive scion of the American banking dynasty, and her battles with business partners and family members.
So you hear in this newspaper article, there's mention of Club Tramp. Keep in mind, Prince Andrew was pictured with Virginia Dufresne, is it Virginia Roberts, the belated Virginia Roberts, who came out with all this Epstein accusations and really blew shit out of the water, right? So, she was pictured with Prince Andrew there. Prince Andrew denied being at that club. We'll listen to that after this article.
The book is full of lines like, Matthew and I went to Saint-Tropez for the summer, staying on Valentino's boat, as well as, my mother's raging lunacy flared up so routinely that it left me in a constant state of bewilderment, and I was still juggling a small baby, an impaired ex-husband, and an asshole of a CEO that I couldn't get rid of. I wanted to write it for women, because I came up against so many things that I was not expecting, Mellon said, settling into a banquet. She was wearing a leopard print dress and white patent leather sandals from the debut of her eponymous clothing collection, and a reverse French manicure, so that it looked as if she'd dipped her fingers in blood. Writing the book, she said, was very healing. One of its salutary sentences is this one, about Michael Ovitz, her boyfriend of the past 2 years. Having a relationship with Michael Ovitz is like the final exam in the masterclass in self-actualization. Ovitz hovered around Mellon as she spoke. You know what I am to her, he said, reaching for his wallet and laying his Amex card on the table. As if I need that. Mellon replied. She's the best thing that ever happened to me, Ovitz went on. I'm with someone who's as curious and crazy as I am. She has got an insatiable appetite, and so do I, for new things and interesting things. I don't think a Saturday goes by that we are not doing 30 different things, in 5 different areas of interest, from art to fashion. Ovitz fumbled with his iPhone and retrieved an image of a glass chair by Shiro Kuramata, the Japanese designer. Mellon had surprised him with it as a Christmas gift. She figured out minimal objects, Ovitz said. It's a real special taste. It took me 20 years to figure out that I liked minimal art. The last 2 years have been an amazing education, said Mellon, whose formal training extended no further than going to the same Swiss finishing school that Princess Diana attended. Michael is very funny, he said. Oh, my God. I've never had such a willing student. The education had been a two-way street, Ovitz remarked. She moved me into Tom Ford. Friends arrived. Wendy Dang dropped by early, Ron Perelman showed up late, and Ghislaine Maxwell was there for the duration. The co-hosts included Steven Schwartzman and his wife, Christine, whom Mellon had got to know after they met in Saint-Tropez, Jamie Tisch, at whose cancer charity gala Mellon regularly takes a table, L.A. Reid, the music executive, and his wife, Erica, whom Mellon first met in St. Bart's, and Diane von Furstenberg, who had to host from a distance, since she was on a plane. Arne Glimcher, another host, at whose gallery, Pace, Mellon's line had been introduced, said that she was like a sponge. Charlie Rose, yet another host, stopped by, tireless and rumpled, during a break from prepping for an interview with Benjamin Netanyahu. Mayor Bloomberg was there, too. This woman is a genius, he said, standing close to Mellon for a photograph. How'd I know that? Well, Diana Taylor, his longtime girlfriend, said she was very good. The mayor reported that he likes high heels. I like women and I think that they look stunning in high heels, not that they look bad without high heels. I wouldn't criticize anybody, he said. But, if I were a woman, I think I would wear high heels. When asked if he regretted the fact that men do not have the option of high heels, the mayor, who is reported to be 5'8", replied, I don't care if a woman is taller than me, with or without heels, he said. I just like women. Bloomberg, Ovitz, and Mellon took to the restaurant's upper gallery, where a microphone awaited. I don't want to say anything derogatory, but I am really concerned about 91 days from today, Ovitz said, by way of introducing Bloomberg. Because this is a guy, you can pick up the phone and actually leave a message for him, and he calls you back. The air was thick with unspoken assent, the sound of the grill room waiting for the other shoe to drop. With both excitement and trepidation, New York's fashionable types left the beach, coming face to face, and closer, at a party to celebrate the opening of Tamara Mellon's new Jimmy Choo boutique. You could get in a fistfight in there or you could get felt up, said Ghislaine Maxwell, prying herself out of a crowd that included Nina Griscom, Rena Cindy, Gigi Mortimer, Jennifer Creel, Marissa Brown, Amelia Fangel Pfeiffer and Nancy Jarecki. Claire Danes, just back from London, where she was filming a movie with Billy Crudup, fought her way in to get a look at the latest stilettos. What girl doesn't love them? Danes asked. BB Newworth championed shoes, too. If they can make a beat-up dancer like me feel comfortable, then they must be great, said Newworth. Then Caroline Berthet led the whole group to dinner at Mr. Chow, where Nikki Hilton, just back from a trip to Tokyo, bemoaned not the end of the summer, but the end of an era. In October, it's my birthday, Hilton said. I won't be a teenager anymore. I'm turning 20. The next night, they were all at it again, checking out the elegant new Yves Saint Laurent boutique at a cocktail party to benefit New Yorkers for Children. It's a shock to be back, said Jamie Gregory, who spent her summer in Maine and the Hamptons. I haven't even been wearing shoes. Yvonne Force, Amy Sacco, BJ Topol, Sally Today and Albemarle, Elizabeth Kisselstein-Cord and Amanda Hurst all made their way through the boutique's sleek halls and were surprised to find old friends around every corner. For her part, Daisy Allart de Canavos, dressed in a chic look from the new YSL collection, seemed the one woman ready for everything fall has in store. To the people who complain about bad weather, I say, find something else to be happy about, Canavos reported. Wear bright colors and try something new.
So what we just listened to was something that's not in the Epstein files, which is proof of friendship, because I don't think anybody ever looked into Matthew Mellon. 1 second, guys. All right, guys, my son had to bring me something up. Sorry. My husband's like, she's live. My son's like, I don't give a fuck. Okay, so this isn't in the Epstein files, but let's go back to Bodies Buried with Law and Crime.
Eyes are watching you every time you go online. That's why we got CyberGhost VPN. You can select one of their hundreds of locations before you browse, and they will today. Now, in some latest reporting, the New Mexico Department of Justice apparently sent a letter to the feds seeking the unredacted copies of this email. And you had the New Mexico Department of Justice Chief of Staff, Lauren Rodriguez, telling Source New Mexico in a statement, quote, while we have not yet received a response to our letter sent last Friday, we are reviewing all appropriate avenues to investigate the allegations raised, as well as any additional ones that may emerge. We also continue to engage with the Truth Commission leadership to ensure coordinated communication and meaningful participation in the ongoing fact-finding mission. I'm going to talk about the Truth Commission in a minute. Now, back to Garcia Richard. She said in an interview, while the state land office sent hundreds of pages of Zoro Ranch leasing records to the New Mexico Attorney General in 2019, Garcia Richard said, I have a lot of frustration that we are now 7 years beyond the initial cancellation of the leases. And to my knowledge, not one member of law enforcement has investigated the ranch or state land. And in her letter to the DOJ, she added, we are fully committed to assisting.
Ghislaine didn't go to jail immediately. Ghislaine had control of lots of money. God knows what evidence could have been moved. There's this guy. Let me see. I think I shared him the other day. Hold on. Let me see if I can find this guy. He was talking about how creepy it was visiting Zoro Ranch. Oh man, I hope I can find this. What is the name of his channel? I just recently learned of him. I know I subbed. Hold on. I wish it showed you recent subscriptions instead of putting them in order. I'd really love to find this and watch it with you guys. But there's this man who went to Zoro Ranch, and he went twice, and both times he had gone, he's a book author. Both times he had gone, it was strange. Like, you couldn't get on there. They cameraed him. They followed him. He believes he was harassed for going there. He's an interesting guy to watch. I can't find it right now, but I'm going to find this guy and I'm going to bring it back and we're going to watch him. I think I did show a little bit of him the other day. But it wasn't in this. She had a submarine. Maybe not a baby form per se, but if a child became pregnant. Oh, yeah. Well, there was two things. Did you know Jeff Epstein there would be girls that would come back to be pregnant to famous people and they would have to conceal it and hide it. So in the Epstein files, they say that he was ordering abortions. We're going to get there. And then the other thing was he was really into cryogenics, like Walt Disney. Check it out. Hold on. Hold on. I'm sure we can find something on this. Oh, I can never find nothing when I want to. Cryogenics. Baby form. But what he wanted to do... Secret babies. Here, this one's 20 minutes.
Revealing a lot. But this time, we want to get into some really disturbing alleged secrets of toxic plants that could take away someone's free will, the harrowing diary entries about babies being taken away, and a major update on the potential search of dead bodies on an Epstein property. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. If you've been following us here on Sidebar and our continued coverage of the Epstein files, you know there is.
This one's shorter and it still covers what we were watching. So I clicked the other one out. I haven't seen this one yet, but let's watch this one. I think it sounds interesting. And it's covering everything on Zoro Ranch and I wanted to talk about. I probably should have picked this one first.
An allegation that Epstein was interested in acquiring toxic plants that could take away someone's free will? What? For the guy who was accused of orchestrating a sex trafficking of minors operation, that's something we got to talk about. Diary entries, or what appear to be diary entries of an alleged young victim, they are horrifying. They may add more fuel to this idea of Epstein having secret babies. We have an update on that and an update on something that we did just a few days ago, an update on the claim, the allegation that there are dead bodies on Jeffrey Epstein's former New Mexico property, the Zoro Ranch, or around the Zoro Ranch. Got to talk about that. So I want to start with the plants, okay? So there are a series of communications about this. The first that I want to bring up is from Jeffrey Epstein. It's an email from Jeffrey Epstein to an Ann Rodriguez, okay? It's dated March 3rd, 2014. And he asks, ask Chris about my trumpet plants at nursery. And the response later on is will do. So one way to look at this is, was he referring to Angel's trumpet plants? I looked into it. So these are Ornamental plants in the nightshade family, you see them in warmer climates, but you can grow them in greenhouses. And they're usually safe, but if you eat them, they could be toxic. One of the compounds in that plant, the reason we're talking about it, is something called scopolamine, okay? This can have a serious effect on the nervous system and can even cause hallucinations. You know, according to TMZ, scopolamine can cause memory loss. It can interfere with someone's free will. And there's something else about this. Scopolamine reportedly doesn't show up on toxicology reports either. To be a little bit more exact, our understanding is it doesn't show up on standard tests, maybe can be detected in targeted tests, but obviously you can see why this is a concern. And with that in mind, I got to turn to another email. It's dated January 27th, 2015, and this person is forwarding Jeffrey Epstein a Daily Mail article about scopolamine. In fact, it says forward, scopolamine, powerful drug growing in the forests of Colombia that eliminates free will. In the article, I'm going to quote it directly. It says, so again, why was this forwarded to Jeffrey Epstein? Why was this highlighted? The most dangerous drug in the world, devil's breath chemical from Colombia, can block free will, wipe memory, and even kill. Scopolamine, often blown into faces of victims or added to drinks. Within minutes, victims are like zombies, coherent but with no free will. Some victims report emptying bank accounts to robbers or help.
Yo, we're going to ChatGPT. What is the name of that? Deadly trumpets. Are they grown in America? If not, where do they grow? They are referring to Datura, also called the devil's trumpet. Jimson, wheat, or thorn apples are absolutely grown in America. They're not imported or exotic, only plants. Where deadly trumpets grow, United States, native and natural across the large parts of the U.S., common in the South, Texas, Tennessee, Florida, Carolinas, the Midwest, the Southwest, parts of the Northeast, along roadsides and fields, near barns, vacant lots, and disturbed soil, sometimes even in backyards, often mistaken for ornamental flowers. They grow wild. People don't need to plant them, and I'm pretty sure I've seen these where I live. Definitely have seen these where I live. In Pittsburgh. I had no clue they were poisonous and can kill somebody. Why they are called deadly. All parts of the plant are toxic. Flowers, leaves, seeds, roots. They contain tropane, alkaloids, ultrapine, sociolamine, hyocosmine, I don't know, which can cause delirium and hallucinations, seizures, coma, death. Even touching and then rubbing eyes can cause symptoms. One creepy detail, the flowers often bloom at night. They release a strong, sweet scent pollinated by moths. This is part of why they show up so often in folklore, poison cases, and true crime stories. Interesting.
Helping them pillage own house. Drug is made from borrachero tree, which is common in Colombia. And I want to call out this section too from the article. It says Dementia Black, a drug dealer in the capital of Bogota, said the drug is frightening for the simplicity in which it can be administered. He told Vice that scopolamine can be blown in the face of a passerby on the street, and within minutes, that person is under the drug's effect. Scopolamine is odorless and tasteless. Quote, you can guide them wherever you want. It's like they're a child. So this arguably shows that Epstein was aware of and maybe even was interested in the effects of this plant. And that brings me to another document that I got to call out, because it's one thing for Epstein to be interested in, maybe wanting to grow it, but what about using it and potentially using it for nefarious purposes? And remember, there have been allegations against Epstein that were very similar to what I'm talking about right now. You know, there was a FBI crisis intake memo that was in the files, and it was dated October 8th, 2019. And it says that at 8:40 p.m., Redacted called the FBI National Threat Operations Center to report being an Epstein victim. Redacted provided the following information. Redacted was raped by Epstein in 1984 when she was 14 years of age. Redacted stated Epstein drugged her at Redacted in Redacted. Prior to being raped, Redacted came in and out of consciousness and stated Epstein's face was painted like a clown. All right, before we jump into everything, look, it's February. This is the time where we're all starting to get into a bit of a winter slump, but nothing rejuvenates like home cooking, right? HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. They deliver with recipes that feel good. They taste amazing every night of the week. As much as I always want to, cook from scratch, I don't have that time. But here's the good news. HelloFresh, which is so easy to order in just a few clicks, means I don't have to compromise my love of healthy or fun dishes. And what I love about HelloFresh is that they bring people together with meals that are just simple to make, but still kind of have that home cooked feel. Nothing hits like home cooking. Go to HelloFresh using this plan. To be clear, I couldn't find anything definitive in the documents that he had used this plant, that he had used scopolamine to drug women or girls in any fashion and then sexually assault them. There's nothing blatant that I've seen to suggest that. However, I have to call this out because what we found here is very weird. It brings me to this document, February 2022. It is described as a victim impact statement that was sent to the United States Attorney in South Florida, Tony Gonzalez. And it's apparently from a Joseph Manzaro discussing an incident in December 2014 where he was drugged. Now, if anybody's been following us here on Sidebar for a while now, as I was listening to this and I was reading, I was like, why does that name sound so familiar? And I realized we covered this guy. Joseph Manzaro, we don't know exactly who he is, but he is somebody we've talked about before. This person, apparently out of Florida, Joseph Manzaro, filed a lawsuit in Florida federal court. He claimed that he was a victim of sex trafficking and sexual exploitation at the hands of Sean Diddy Combs and others. We talked about him. We covered this, his lawsuit, where through a victim impact statement, it's very similar to what I'm about to go through. It says that it was about 5:30 p.m. on December 26, 2014, when I arrived home. I unlocked my door, and when I turned the handle on my door,
do y'all remember that guy? He was nuts. He did in the Diddy Combs. He was in jail when they did a police thing with him, and he was like, oh, did he raped me and did he this and there's sex trafficking and this, that, and the other. And everybody just thought this guy was crazy. I've always wanted to cover that. I don't know why I never did.
I got something all over my hand that resembled Vaseline. I said to myself, ew, that's disgusting. I rubbed my fingers together in my hands as I went in to wash my hands to see what the heck this stuff was. The next thing I remember was waking up in the backseat of a car and being driven somewhere. It was Eric Mejias driving and Bonnie Rivera in the passenger seat. I said, hey guys, what's going on? Where are we going? What am I doing here? Why are we driving anywhere? I'm supposed to be at home right now. Then I said, oh, wow, I'm really sleepy. I need to just put my head back a bit. The next thing I remember was waking up again and hearing Bonnie Rivera telling Eric Mejias that I was waking up. He said, he's waking up because what should I do? Eric Mejias then told him not to worry, just give it a minute. He'll fall back asleep again. I gave him a lot of that scopolamine. He must have given me a blot because I'm practically immune to that stuff. As a child, I had to take it quite a bit to go deep sea fishing with my dad on the weekends, which I loved. I just hated being seasick and developed quite a large tolerance to scopolamine. I thought that to myself, though. So this is very confusing because there's no direct mention in this to Jeffrey Epstein. I'm not sure why it's in the files, but how could I not mention it when it's another direct reference to scopolamine? Again, seeming Epstein had some sort of interest in the trumpet plant that had this. So what do we make of it? Not entirely sure, but it's eerie to say the least and something to think about. Now, second part, I want to talk about a diary, what appear to be diary entries. In the files, there appear to be these diary entries from what seemed to be a young girl. And in the passages, there is descriptions of abuse, trauma, pain. And while we talk so much about Epstein and the money and the alleged co-conspirators, if these allegations are true and what's being described, I just want to read you some samplings from this. And it centers around this person being pregnant and giving birth. These detailed, disturbing, alleged accounts of childbirth with Ghislaine Maxwell being right there. So as much as we talk about Epstein and all that, sometimes we don't talk enough about what these accusers, what these alleged victims went through. So let me read you from these, again, what appear to be diary entries. Close your eyes, close your eyes, close your eyes. Don't speak, she doesn't talk. I can't stop shaking and it's been a week. A decision was made, but I can't tell Jeffrey. These things happen. Why didn't I close my eyes fast enough? The doctor was different again, I think from Israel. He had kind eyes, but didn't speak directly to me. This was different. A shot, and those rod-like things had a hook and so much pain. Ghislaine said to push all the pain away. I don't understand. Blood and water all over the bed, and she was right. Like a feeling when your tummy hurts and you have to push. She said to close my eyes and put her hands over my eyes, but I didn't close them because of these tiny cries. I am so lost. I saw between her fingers this tiny head and body in the doctor's hands. It reached its tiny arm up and had a tiny foot. I closed my eyes and no more cries. And when you go to page 20 of this particular packet, chillingly, there is even a picture of a sonogram on a page with the words, "She is gone and she won't be coming back." And next to what appears to be a poem entitled Child, you have passages such as, "Your clear eye is the one absolutely beautiful thing. I want to fill it with color and ducks." Now, we don't know for sure who this person is. We don't know if this claim is real. We don't know if this sonogram is the baby the person mentions. And also,
So my son actually, I'm so sorry for the loss of your pet. I lost my baby Chico, and it broke my heart. My baby Buddy right before him. It's hard. My cat just in the last year passed away. Simba breaks my heart. Old age, except for Simba was hit by a car. I don't want to talk about it. And Chico was bit by a neighbor's dog. We've spoken about my dog. It was a traumatic event for me. Okay, anyway, so my son had showed me this guy. I highly recommend for Epstein stuff that you watch him. He deep dives. He's really good at putting stuff together, and it's partially how I found J Photos and Jeff Tube and all that other stuff. But I want you to listen to him for a few minutes.
Life that was pretty much destroyed by these people, very rich and powerful people. Disclaimer now, if you don't want to know bad details about this, then you might not even want to watch this video. All right, here we go. Page 1, confidential attorney's eyes only is all over these documents, obviously. Just looks like she had some red painting. So this victim was smart enough to do some sort of, coding. And I've looked into this a little bit, and people said this is like a 2-rail coding where basically it starts at the top letter, then goes down to the bottom one, then back up to the top, back up, down. So this says, "So sorry, Jeffrey." You see how it says "So sorry, Jeffrey" there? It's kind of hard to read at first. "So sorry, Jeffrey. These things happen when your body has never been given time to properly heal. So it came out in the toilet and I didn't know what to do. So I just flushed the tiny little You have made me numb and I hate you for this. I hope I never have to see you again. I'm not your personal incubator. Where's the baby? Where's Ghislaine?" I mean, there's no words for what we just read. Just that off rip is so disturbing because it basically tells us that they were stealing her babies. And it gets worse. Look, she even put a clipping of death in there from some magazine. There's a lot of magazine clippings in all this. "Blend in, hate this city." And this is another clipping from a random magazine. of a Toyota ad maybe or something. And she's talking about her hatred for New York City at this point, because that comes up later on, how she hates New York City because of stuff that's happened to her in New York City. And now this is something from 1961, which I looked up the lyrics because I think it's lyrics or a poem or something. I couldn't find anything for it. Maybe I'm an idiot and just missed it, but crazy shit. You can pause and read it if you want to, but I'm going to keep going. Now, the next thing says background photo of a courtroom with the words, "Our stand, you should never be here alone. He should." So she crosses this out. And here's the picture they're describing. "Our stand, you should never be here alone. He should." What I'm gathering from this one is that she wants someone to be in the courtroom here. I'm guessing Epstein, facing justice in the courtroom. He should be there alone. "Through a child's eyes, protect the vanishing children," she writes. Vanishing children. I mean, this shit is just, it's heartbreaking. It really is. "What I wanted was a place where dreams did not stop at dawn. Flashbacks. I won't let pain keep me from surviving." I mean, this girl, I believe she was 16 at the time. This is so sad. "In the danger zone. Background photos of New York City," and quote, "Who could have predicted this? I should have. So sad the city could be beautiful if it weren't filled with monsters. The blood from Leon is no longer there." She's talking about Leon Black, the billionaire, who I'm going to talk about a lot in this video, who is pretty much the devil along with Epstein. I mean, it is fucking crazy. This guy has no criminal charges. So this is what they just, decoded or whatever. Pictures of New York City they were describing. So this is another page of, coded wording, decoding. "Tomorrow is the halfway ultrasound for Jeffrey. This one's stuck. After they took the first baby who survived and the early miscarriage, I think it was called, I no longer feel like a person but a vessel." The first baby who survived, they took her first baby and then she had a miscarriage. And this is all as a teenage girl. And it gets worse. Will they take this one too? Who has the first one? Where did Ghislaine go? She is never around. I can't let myself get attached. By the way, Ghislaine is the person the government just met with and put her in a nicer prison and gave her a pet. Need I remind you about that? The government said, "Oh yeah, we'll put you in a nicer situation while you live out your prison sentence." I can never let myself get attached. I'm not old or mature enough or even in the place to have a baby that I would be responsible for. I mean, this is so... These people all deserve to die and be tortured that did this to her. Honestly, I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm not even able to focus on anything other than hiding this again. I had to go to eating disorder treatment prior to being in the situation again and missed the entire fall semester of school. I'm so very exhausted. My body feels so tired. Will I ever be free? I'm fucking pissed reading this. Here's the page that they just decoded and then on to the next one. "I am such a monster. I didn't console her. I can't unhear her screams. They haunt me." So now this is a victim blaming herself for what's happened to her, hearing her baby scream. "I couldn't even bring myself to look at her. I'm a monster. I deserve to be haunted by her screams. I'm sorry. I'm so broken." And here's the page from her journal. "I'm such..."
So here we hear about the abortions and things like that, but here what they're telling you is these are babies born alive. Some of them to other guys, some of them to Jeffrey. Man, these people are fucking sick if all this is true. Sick as fuck. That's all I have to say. I don't want to share this guy. This guy did a really good job, and I probably will share a clip from this guy because he's really good at putting together his Epstein files. Again, let me share. I really want you guys to give this guy a look. He's so detailed. I wish I could be this talented. I don't know how he came to the conclusions and put all this together. I suck. I try. I go look for the news clips and try to go search and see what I can find. I'll get better at it. I'm just so used to covering Summer's case. I don't really ever put together other cases. So we're learning. Okay. So, now, I'm going to move on one more time tonight. There's a case close to my heart only because it's in my city and I remember it slightly from when I was a child. Not the first missing person case I've ever heard of because I lived in Miami right after Adam Walsh had gone missing. But when I had come back, this case was being covered. Hold on. There was an update. This case to me reminds me of Summer Wells case. It has a lot of similarities to me. It's not local to me. It's in the county over. Let's see if I can find. There was an update. In her case. We'll watch another video after this to get you. Oh, look, just 6 minutes ago. Hold on.
And 11 investigates exclusive. Could letters from prison help crack a 41-year-old missing persons case?
8-year-old Cherry Mahan vanished in February of 1985. And Chief Investigator Rick Earl has worked this case for 3 decades. And now he's received some letters from an inmate who says he may have information about this case. Rick?
Yeah, guys, this was a pretty big surprise when I got those letters. Now, that inmate also sent letters to several others, including Cherry's mom and state police. In those letters, he suggests he has information about the missing girl and who may be involved. You believe you are closer now than ever before to finding out what happened to Cherry?
Absolutely. I believe that we are going to know one way or the other, and we're going to bring this story to an end.
Janice McKinney believes this is the year she will find out what happened to her daughter. In February of 1985, 8-year-old Cherry Mahan vanished after getting off the school bus less than 100 yards from her home in rural Cabot, Butler County.
I can't say what day or what month, but I know that she wants to come home to me.
McKinney and her friends who began helping her last year have renewed hope after hearing from a man who lived in the neighborhood, knew Janice and her daughter, and is now in prison. They believe he may have information about Cherry. That inmate also sent 2 letters to 11 investigates, one in August and another in October. In the letters, he denies any involvement in Cherry's disappearance and criticizes people for jumping to conclusions, but suggests he has more information about the young girl. Quote, Janice, I hope that you and I can soon meet in person and that you permit me to tell you why I think and strongly believe that my family members are responsible, he wrote. Do you think he may hold the key to this?
He could. We're not going to count him out, but we're not putting him number one. He's in the ballpark.
Do you think he knows more than he's
I think
telling
he
you?
knows
You
where
think he-
Cherry is. I think he
You think he
knows.
knows where Cherry is?
Yes. And I think he knows what happened to her.
In one letter, he ends with this, quote, it only gives me more fuel to continue to fight for your daughter's deserving justice. Don't be against me. Help me make this happen. You actually went to the prison to meet with him.
Yes.
He wouldn't meet with you?
Nope. I got there and I was told he wouldn't come out to visit me.
McKinney still communicates with him through prison email. She says she's gotten at least 8 responses. While McKinney pushes forward, state police are as well. Last October, with the help of the FBI, they dug near a home in South Buffalo Township, Armstrong County, just 10 miles from where Cherry was last seen.
We were surprised, but I think we were both very excited, just to know that a search was being done 40 years later, especially with the FBI. So we were super excited. We're still not sure what exactly has come from that, but we're
Gave you some more hope.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And we're optimistic about what they found.
They haven't told you much?
No.
During the past year, McKinney and her team known as Cherry's Angels have also done their own searches with a cadaver dog. In at least one location, they plan to return when the weather breaks.
The dog did indicate something in that area. Clearly, with the winter we've had, we're waiting until we're able to access this area.
Are you going to
a
go
little
back
bit better.
again?
We do plan to. All of our
To go back
devotion.
and dig?
Yeah.
So the dog did indicate in an area close to where this little girl went missing 40 years ago. They need to come back. I'm going to tell you why I'm interested in the same area. We can bring you hope. 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 Isaiah 117. They're in that same area. probably not a possibility for Summer. However, the fact that they search that area for this little girl still, and these people that have played fuck shit games in Summer's case down in Tennessee are from the very same area as where this little girl went missing 40 years ago. In my opinion, this case has a ton of similarities. It's Elaine. It doesn't mean it's true. It's speculation. It's a theory. Sometimes people offend twice. This little girl lived in a rural area. At the time, her mother was addicted and married to an abuser. Her hair was cut very short. She was just a couple years older than Summer, a vehicle they've never been able to find. In an area where we can bring you hope, and Isaiah 117 connects people to Tennessee. I have hope everywhere they look all over America for Summer. However, if they can solve this case 40 years later, that brings me hope that they'll solve Summers much sooner with as many eyes on it. We didn't have the internet back then. What you're going to hear at the end of this is that this man is getting out of jail in just days, months, weeks, something like that. He waited all this time to turn this in, and he has nothing to gain. He's not getting out of jail for giving this information. And I believe this guy writing not only the family, but the news in this case. I think this is something to watch. I understand it's an old case and a lot of people don't like that, but these people still matter. Anybody who goes missing, they still matter. And this baby, her family never gave up on her. I don't think that her mother was involved. However, her mother lived at the time a risque life. And it was a very controversial, without internet story in the local news and a little bit in the national. This little girl we had something called the Penny Saver here. It was a weekly ad that would come around, and I believe this goes all over America. They created the little missing flyers because of this little girl going missing, Cherry Mahan. No, we have a church here too. It's a homeless shelter called Lamplight, so that's odd. Oh no, Light of Life. Light of Life. I'm wrong. Yeah, this is definitely in a Dennis Morton case. I have watched very eerie similarities to Summers. You're right. All right, let me finish this up. It's almost done. So that you can hear the end where you hear this man's getting out of jail.
Now, Janice McKinney tells me state police are aware of that inmate and the possible connection to the case. I reached out to state police but have not heard back as of yet. That inmate, meanwhile, is expected to be released from prison in just a couple of months. Live in the studio this evening, Rick Earl, Channel 11 News.
Today marks 41 years to the day that 8-year-old.
I was going to go, but this was just posted right before I shared this with you, so we're going to watch it. It's local news today.
Cherry Mahan disappeared just steps from her Winfield Township home. Supporters of the family met today to discuss new developments in the search for her. KDKA's Ricky Sayers spoke to Cherry's mother about what they've learned.
They feel they have made significant progress towards solving this. There have been multiple searches that they've said have taken place over the past year. Some have been private and some have been from police. But it is Cherry's mother's communication with an incarcerated man which is grabbing much of their attention. The mother of Cherry Mahan looks forward to the day a man who could hold the key to her daughter's disappearance is out of prison.
I would love to talk to him just to hear what he has to say.
Janice McKinney said she reached out to the man based on tips and first heard back from him in July. She says he wanted to talk to her.
When I got the first letter, we tried to get in to speak to him while he was in prison. And we went there, and then he denied seeing us. So he's hiding from himself. And if he had nothing to do with it, there's no reason why he couldn't have talked to me. Cold feet, I guess.
They've continued to exchange letters. Bailey Gazinski has seen them. She's one of Cherry's Angels, a group helping Cherry's family. She told us they believe the incarcerated man knows where Cherry is and what happened to her.
I mean, I believe he's a suspect. I mean, I believe he knows information, but I believe he was involved as well.
Now, in his letters to Janice, he denies any involvement other than knowing what his family was capable of and that his family members were the ones who did it.
She said the reason they can't speak to him while he's in prison is because he had multiple stipulations, including needing the discussion with McKinney to be televised live, which wouldn't be possible inside. However, McKinney says she expects the man to be released from a Pennsylvania prison in the next few months.
He has a story to tell, but we don't know what that is yet.
At a meeting with supporters Sunday, they discuss what they've learned and what comes next, working to connect the dots.
Little tips that maybe didn't seem significant is now connected with another little tip that didn't seem significant.
Hoping to answer the questions they've had for years.
And I've always felt that when this year starts, that we were going to find her because she wants to come home.
There continues to be a $100,000 reward being offered for information that leads to Cherry being found. Ricky Sayer, KDK TV News.
Something that bothers me about that case is this reward has been there for years and years and years. And in Summer's case, it only took a year or less to get rid of her reward fund. And so many people ripped it off. It's fucking sick. All right, guys. With that being said, I'm going to end my live. My husband's sleeping in the background on my little cot thing I have in here. I'm going to go wake him up because he's snoring and it's going to get louder and I don't want you to hear it. So pez amore, peace and love. I'll see you hopefully sometime tomorrow. Good night. Give me a like. Bye.